Kumari is a Swahili name meaning moonlight, but it's Kamari.
Oh.
And a character in one of my books.
So anyway, my married and unmarried friends.
Let's talk about the living goddess.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you know about the living goddess?
Nothing. This is going to be so great.
I know a lot.
Yep. I would expect you to know quite a bit about it. I should
Yeah.
actually put this in slideshow mode. That would be great.
Yeah. And we
So
could
you can see
really-
a little bit more.
And that's pictures of her
Yeah.
right there,
Yes.
the living goddess.
As the makeup and the attire that she
It was
wears.
just this child.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great observation. She is a child.
She's a child being put on display.
Yes.
Yes. You know about it.
I get the gist from the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any more details than what I can see
Yeah, it's
right
going to
now,
get
so.
a little crazy. So
Yeah.
I vaguely remember hearing about this tradition over the years. I would see every once in a while an article or a video. I think I've seen the documentaries before. For this point, but recently on TikTok, I was seeing it explode everywhere because in September, a new Kumari was selected. So because of that, I was reading so many comments on it, trying to decide what I thought about this situation. And I was getting a lot of mixed opinions, basically. People either hating it or people convinced that this is the most amazing thing to happen. Everyone should do. It should be perfectly fine. They live perfectly normal lives, that kind of thing. So it became a question of, is this okay to still exist?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to kind of discuss both sides, and I will be taking more of a neutral stance on it, but I think it's something we can still discuss while still being respectful to a culture. I think that it's important to respect cultural differences, but I don't think any culture is above criticism.
I mean, in the last thing we did, we were criticizing exorcisms. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of the same deal. All right, it's part of the culture if you're raised in the Catholic Church and they really believe that. But at the same time, we can look at it from a distance and be like, that's kind of barbaric and backwards to ever put someone through an exorcism instead of giving them medical help
Yeah.
that they probably need.
Yeah.
So-
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I will say in the ethics portion of my cultural anthropology class, there is a rule as an anthropologist to not interfere, to be you don't want to interfere with the culture and change it to your moral values. But the ethics of it is it's do no harm. So if you see a child being sacrificed, you morally should stop that, even though it's the culture.
So it's sort of a Hippocratic oath
Kind of.
in this weird way of
Yeah.
you can interfere if it's going to fucking get somebody killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also makes me think of Star Trek. I mean, they have that whole thing of you go to any other planet, you have to respect them as a civilization. You can't interfere with them. But there's always that dilemma of we should interfere. Captain Kirk being no, but they're going to kill this kid. This whole concept is actually making me think of an episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, as I was watching with my dad recently. And I think it was based on this specific episode. It was based on an old Ursula K. Le Guin story. But it was about this kid that was sort of nominated as this sacred being by this whole planet. But the twist at the end of it was this kid that they're celebrating eventually gets put into this chair of torture and forced to live in constant pain so the rest of them could live in paradise. That was what they believed had to happen for them to sustain their paradise. So I don't know if this is similar to that twist ending, but that's what this seeing those pictures made me think of that specific Star Trek episode. That was definitely a Star Trek episode where they're we should probably interfere, but can we?
Yeah.
And it also becomes a question of it might not be to the level of it's going to kill someone, but it could be to the level that it can still affect someone.
Be psychological.
Yeah.
Mentally. It can cause a lot of other problems. And there's also a possibility that we can make it better. The beings have gotten better over the years, so it is possible that this tradition could still happen and have some ethical things around it to make it better.
Yeah.
But let's kind of get more into that. So the Kumari tradition has faced a lot of criticism, particularly regarding the isolation of young girls and the restriction placed upon their lives. Some argue that the limits of their personal freedom and development, people think that it limits their personal freedom and development. However, there are some efforts to balance it a little bit. But is it still okay? It's kind of the question I'm kind of going to go for. Especially when we get into what changes about it. So the Kumari is a tradition where they worship a living goddess. They are chosen between the ages of 2 and 5. These little girls who are between the ages of 2 and 5. And they be worshipped as a goddess until her first period. Then she must leave and she becomes mortal again. That's basically the idea of it. Some people say also if she gets like really injured, I've seen online, like fatally injured or anything, that can also cause the goddess to leave her body. Like she's not really supposed to lose like a lot of blood or anything. Like that's a big thing.
So you got to be careful or you could lose your goddess status.
Yeah.
She also can never touch the ground during this time period. So when you're selected, you're carried for the time, like you're 2 to 5, carried all the way up till you get first period.
Wow. So you're living in like Wall-E world in a floating chair.
Yeah, pretty much. You can never talk to anyone outside. You can't really talk to anyone outside till your period comes. Then she just goes back to her normal life. So we're going to explore the goddess, the process, and then life during and a little bit afterwards. So you pretty much go back to a normal life
as normal as you can.
How can you have a normal life afterwards?
That's how you were like raised, basically, like as this thing everyone's looking up to and carrying around.
Yeah, it's weird.
How are you going to adjust back to being a human?
So supposedly the word Kumari actually translates to the word virgin. I've seen some people, mainly Western part of the world, they take this and they freak out when they hear the word virgin and they think that they're sexualizing this young child.
Yeah.
A lot of people from their culture are saying they don't really focus on the fact that it means like the virgin like that. They don't think of the sexual part of it or anything like that. They just think of it just being more of being like young.
Yeah.
So you don't have to really worry about it meaning that.
Yeah, that's an interesting word because it's interesting you point out it does have those 2 different meanings. And you see it through,
depends on the cultures you're in. Yeah.
You kind of like need a different word in a weird way to avoid that connotation, but I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah.
It would just be child, I guess.
In ancient texts, like translators are translating more to like maiden instead of virgin.
I've actually heard that like the Virgin Mary in the Bible just meant like a young woman. It didn't mean she's this perpetual virgin. Like they sort of like fetishize that in the modern church of like she's this thing that will always be a virgin as in like untouched, but like that's not what the translation was supposed to be. So that's a complete misread.
Yeah. So that's
I think that's interesting.
It's different cultures there.
Yeah.
But I do like the word maiden better.
Yeah.
Coming from a Western mindset.
We have to avoid that connotation.
That's why I also mentioned that when anyone would ever mention that it translates a virgin, how weird that is. People from the culture will jump in and just be like, we're not even thinking about it in the way you're thinking.
I didn't even clock it.
Like you're fine. Like it's not that big of a deal. But the Kumari is a living goddess. She is worshipped by the Hindu and the Buddhists. The Buddhist priests are involved in the selection process of a Kumari, even though the tradition is kind of more based in the Hindu beliefs. So the history behind it. So it is believed to have started in 1757 AD, the year 877 in this calendar, Kumari calendar. There are around 10 to 12 Kumari at once, including the royal Kumari, which is the most important one.
Wow, I would have thought there's only one based on what like the pictures look like, but they have like a pantheon of these things.
There are a lot of them. They're in different cities.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost like the ball thing where like you have a mascot Kumari for your city and
that kind of thing. But the royal one is the one you'll mostly hear about because that's the one that people are constantly talking about. And that's one that makes news when a Kumari is selected. So the one that just came out recently that got selected, that one was a royal Kumari. So she'll be in the royal temple and all that. Really nice house. But there's 10 to 12 at a time. The idea is, at the time, the goddess would talk to like the kings and stuff and give them, tell them like strategies and all this stuff. And kind of be their second-hand person. And one of them wasn't great to her. Depends on the story about what happened there. Came on to her, stuff like that. She ended up leaving, and her way of being able to support them, like do that kind of stuff, was to manifest into the Kumari, basically. She would manifest into a little girl, so she is kind of protected. That's kind of the mindset behind it. And you look to the Kumari to be able to give like information to you, but also to like grant wishes, bless you, that kind of thing. So it's So they choose a young girl who is believed to be the earthly manifestation of this goddess here. And she embodies great spiritual significance. Her presence is believed to bring blessings and fulfill the devotee's wishes. Basically making her a conduit between the mortal and divine.
The bridge between worlds.
Yes. So
the Avatar.
that's kind of, like the Avatar.
She's an avatar, yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, I think they also do this when they're picking the Dalai Lama too, but there's some things that are similar in how they select them. Well, this is a very, very, there's a lot you have to do to get picked up as a Kumari.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I know you're going to explain it, so I'm not going to ask about it here, but I'm so interested to hear how they pick.
So the goddess is known to make men kings. According to the oral legend, like I mentioned, she was visiting a king to play dice and give him counsel, and one night he broke the taboo. He had very impure intentions towards her. So she was angered. She disappeared and declared that she would return to the world only in the form of a young virgin girl, which young, innocent girl.
Yeah.
Have to focus on the virgin part of it in this kind of mindset. She is represented not just as a spiritual authority, but also as a political, like she helped a lot with the politics side of it. So even after the fall of the monarchy in Nepal, she is still seen being honored in public rituals, festivals, and still having the Kumari tradition.
Gorgeous.
That's her beautiful temple.
That's where she lives? Like, is that where she
Not
is?
necessarily the Kumari, but this is the temple of the goddess.
Okay, so just built in reverence to the being they think this girl is channeling.
Yes. So about Nepal. Because a lot of people don't know anything about Nepal. A lot of people think it's India. It's not India. It's not India. I've had a person recently, won't say who it was, who said that Nepal was in Europe.
Go back to school for geography.
It's not in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly not.
This is where Nepal is. It has a really cool flag. Very different than a lot of flags. Most of the flags are square. Pretty cool flag. This is the birthplace of Buddhism. It's the only nation to not have a rectangular flag. It also has Mount Everest. You hear about Mount Everest? It's in Nepal.
I bet a lot of people can't name what country Mount Everest is in.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. Some people spend so much money to go up there. But
It's a weird tradition. Like that would actually be an interesting PowerPoint about the sort of fucked up things about Everest.
Yeah.
Because I know there's like a dead guy that's just left there on the mountain.
There's so many dead people.
And people use them as landmarks when they're climbing up the mountain.
Yeah, there's Green Boots.
The guy with the green boots.
Sleeping Beauty.
Uh-huh.
Which is just a girl who looks very peaceful laying down.
But it's just messed up. Like, hey, here's this corpse that we know about. Like that means we're on the right way.
Yeah. I think that we also like the ethics of it. Like not only like the damage it does, like all the pollution people and trash people leave behind, but also how little the people are paid who are carrying all your stuff.
The actual people that do the hard work.
Yeah, because a lot of it, like you're not actually carrying your own stuff. It's people doing it.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to go into just that whole situation because it's insane to be able to travel. I don't have any. I don't want to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's a weird form of tourism.
Zero interest. I don't want to do it.
It's basically just a dick measuring thing, I think. Like I climbed Mount Everest, but you didn't carry your own pack. You had like the oxygen tank on you. The Sherpa did all the work of guiding you that way.
Also, a favorite of ours is Nepal is the home of the Yeti.
Yes.
So
that is the legend of the Yeti.
These are just some quick facts about Nepal because people do constantly think it's India or think it's in Europe.
That's weird. I've never conflated it with India myself, but I'm not surprised people do.
People have conflated it with Tibet, which is the region. It includes parts of China.
Yeah.
That's true. That's like right to the north.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Nepal, I think Sherpa. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind, the Sherpa culture.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to like at least talk about Nepal, at least a little bit.
For anybody out there who might have thought something about it, but isn't
if you thought it was in Europe, it's not.
It's not in Europe.
So the process. So there's a whole process to go through this, okay? So the girl must be from this community. It's a very certain community and it's very specific families that she can be a part of. She has to be between the age of 3 to 5 is what I'll see most places, but the girl who was just chosen was 2. So I guess it could be 2 to 5. I'm looking at
She's not even walking.
But it's supposed to be 3 to 5. Like I mentioned, I've seen ones as young as 2 for that. So she must be perfect health. There can't be really any flaws in her. She can't have any scars or marks on her body. The girl can't lose blood because, like I mentioned, she is not supposed to be bleeding a lot. It does mention she's not even supposed to lose a tooth. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of blood and stuff. Maybe it's like you can't at first. I mean, that's like there's probably a special ritual you have to do or something.
Must be.
Because obviously there's a lot of secret stuff that they do, but we don't know about. So maybe there's a whole ritual you have to do when someone loses a tooth and it's bloody.
Probably, yeah.
There's probably something you have to do to keep that fine. I don't know. So there's also like a zodiac birth chart had to kind of match the national leaders. So at one point with the king, it kind of had to go with the king for a while. So it had to be kind of somewhere. So it was a whole horoscope kind of thing. And then now the president. So once you get through this part, that's just kind of how they narrow it down.
Yeah, see.
And then you have to move to the next level.
Oh my God, so much screening.
There's a lot. And you'll be screened for the 32 qualities of perfection.
Let's see if we match them.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Okay, I will say we will go through these and stuff, but we don't 100% know if this is actually the list of perfections because it is a secret thing between religions. So this is what people have said online. It might be slightly different.
I'm just reading through some of these and I'm like, that's not even objective. Like, how do you determine some of this stuff?
The size of a deer.
So only the priests know exactly what these qualities are. The girls has to be beautiful, then calm, and not afraid. And I think this was actually from a Kumari who said that. So yeah, shapely feet. Do we have shapely feet here?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think of a tradition of like how some people not like bow on their feet nowadays, but like they work on that kind of thing. A circle under the sole of foot, a well-formed heel, long toes.
So you can't have short toes.
No, that would be bad. Thighs of a deer. I picture it means like like running thighs or like
Sure,
long,
yeah.
Like
graceful.
graceful, yeah.
Sure.
That's also another one too.
Also, like,
Deer
how
kind
do
of
you,
lanky.
how do you determine this in a 2-year-old?
I know, this isn't a
just-
fully grown human. They all
Yeah.
just kind of look like beans at that point, you know?
They do.
Human beings.
Yeah, some parts of it. I'm gonna get past some of this.
Uh-huh.
Long arms, a pure body, neck like a muscle, 40 teeth?
Muscle.
Question mark.
Question.
Again, with the losing a tooth thing.
Cheeks like a lion.
How do you determine? They bring in a lion for reference. Like, hey, that looks
But, like-
alike enough.
I was like, what do lion cheeks look like? 'Cause
Yeah.
I imagine like I don't know. I picture lions kind of like striking a pose.
Exactly.
So I imagine like contoured cheeks.
Yeah, some kind of majestic.
Strong jawline.
Yeah. I don't know what else. it
I
could
don't
be.
know. White teeth.
Yeah.
A small tongue. A moist tongue.
Moist.
Yep. I guess it reminds me of
I got dry mouth. I can't.
Oh my God, yeah. Can't be the goddess.
I just also think about this is off topic, but it just always makes me think of it is in Dog 101 when you do the dog in like the showcase part of the game. One of the things that would be like the dog has a wet nose that meant the dog was hydrated. And that was like
makes
a
sense.
really like good thing. Like you took care of your dog, so you can get higher points.
Okay.
So I guess it just means like hydrated. That's what I picture. Like you're healthy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you're not healthy. I'm sorry. In there, you're dry mouth.
Yeah.
I feel you. I have a dry mouth too. A deep voice of a sparrow.
A sparrow? That's a Tweety bird.
A deep voice. A child having
Yeah.
a deep voice.
Deep voice like a sparrow.
I had a deep voice as a child. I sounded exactly as I sound.
Really, so your voice never changed.
The lashes of a cow.
Oh, gorgeous.
Cows do
Yeah,
have
fair.
nice
They
lashes.
do.
I can picture it.
A beautiful shadow.
Shadow.
A gold-colored shadow.
Gold-colored shadow. What?
Black blue hair.
I kind of get what that's talking
Yeah.
about.
A strong body.
A strong body, strong.
Yeah,
like
this is just
oaks.
some of the nice little things there. There's more. It's 32.
It is. Oh, that's just
Right,
to 18.
yeah.
Oh my god! I thought that would have been all of them, but there's
Yeah.
more. Oh my god!
Yay.
Okay. So, talk about the tests the girls go through to become a Kumari. So, they're designed in a way to test if a Kumari girl is, like, if a girl could be calm and brave spirited. Because she needs to have that to
Yeah,
embody
that's-
the Kumari. So, there's the scary room test.
What?
The scary room test.
Yes. The scary room test is when the girl goes into a dark room with loud noises and scary masks. She must stay calm and not cry.
Oh my God.
If you cry, you're out.
That's
If you show
insane.
fear, you're out. You're not a Kumari. Imagine 3 to 5.
3 to 5. You put him in this freaky room like with probably like strobe lights. I don't know what. I'm just picturing like the final episode.
I'm picturing like a haunted house too, just like a typical like scary haunted house. It probably is different than that, but I bet they have scarier masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be something terrifying, but there are no pictures of these, are there? So we don't know as mere mortals what they have to face in there with perfect courage. But these kids, if they don't do that, they're not going to qualify.
Yeah. If you freak out, you're done.
Yeah.
Once you pass this test, you got past the buffalo sacrifice test.
The buffalo sacrifice test.
So this test requires a girl to watch animal sacrifices without fear.
Uh-huh.
So this is one of the greatest tests where some people say different things. One said that 108 buffaloes and goats are sacrificed to the goddess Kali. Mm-hmm. The young candidate is taken into the temple and released into the courtyard where severed heads of the animals, illuminated by candlelight, and masked men are dancing around. If the candidate truly possesses the qualities of the goddess, she shows no fear during this experience. If she does show any fear, she's out.
This is
they
some
pick the
fucked
next
up
one.
shit.
To go
All
in.
right, yeah.
So we already have a scary room test. Now we have an animal sacrifice test.
Yeah, you have to witness all this like bloody murder and the severed heads.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's also like kind of have to be used to it because sometimes they do sacrifice animals.
in front of it. I guess when
Yeah.
it's your duty as a goddess, you have to see some sacrifice.
Well, yeah, especially like if someone was just like sacrificing a goat for blessings and stuff. So
Yeah.
it makes sense on why, but
But it's messed
imagine
up.
3 to 5-year-old
Yeah.
having to witness that. So then there's the night at the temple. That's where you kind of get more of that, where they're getting more of a night alone in the house, where we see more animals being slaughtered without fear. Candace has proven that she has the fearlessness and that the goddess can inhabit her. After passing all the other tests, the final test is to be able to pick out the personal belongings of a previous Kumari from an assortment of things laid out before her.
That's straight out of The Last Airbender. I know where they got that now.
And the Buddha.
They say that's how they
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
Is that like a Buddha thing before this?
Yeah. Was it Dalai Lama? Is that part of
Oh, yeah.
They
They have
say
to
the
do that
Dalai
for the
Lama.
Dalai Lama too?
Yeah, he does that. He has to pick out something that's from a past life. That's kind of how you tell.
Yes.
But I think I'm like, okay, that sounds okay. I can understand that being part of the tradition.
That's a little less blood and gore.
Yeah. So if she's able to do it, there's no remaining doubt that she is the chosen one. Now, it comes into question, are these exactly true? Because these come from a lot of different people, though. Some Kumaris do say, but there is a fear test. There is a fear test regardless.
Mm.
There are masks and some sacrifices. But is it 108?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It sounds a little extreme.
Sounds a
Yeah.
little extreme, especially for each candidate that goes
Yeah.
through it. But there is definitely, you still got to show that you're brave. So there is some truth behind
So
this.
perhaps this is more of an urban legend, more of a like distorted through the methods of oral tradition of like, I heard they had to see 1,000 cows killed.
I think that, and then also I do wonder if it's like Western trying to like demonize.
Make it into a horror show.
Make it like this is a really bad thing that they do to little girls. There is a test, but is it to this extreme? Doubt it. But it's still a rigorous test. Like you still have to have the 32 perfections. You still have to spend the night in the temple with mask and possible animal slaughtering going on without showing fear.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta also pick out an item to be able to be the Kumari.
It's a wonder anyone passes all of this.
Yeah.
You would have to be the one.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of different claims about what the ritual and screening process is. However, the ex-royal Kumari from the goddess to mortal says that this has nothing to do with the selection process. Rather, she kind of talks more about the ritual that goes into it each year. She says that there's no men dancing around masks trying to scare her. But other people do say that there is some kind of fear test going on. But she does say there is a pretty strict physical examination for the Kumari. But it's not too rigorous, but there is. So once she is chosen, she must be purified so that she could be an unblemished vessel for the goddess. She is taken by the priest to undergo a secret ritual to cleanse her body. We don't know what goes on there. We don't know anything about that. We just know that something happens. She becomes a Kumari, and she is dressed and has makeup done with the Kumari, and then leaves the temple. Goes across the square to her actual home, which is, I guess, will be the next slide. But I do have a picture of the actual house she gets to move into, especially the royal Kumari. Get a nice house.
Get an extra nice house.
Yeah, it's pretty nice temple.
I would bet.
So originally, the Kumari would actually move away from her family. So at age 3 to 5, 2 to 5, she would be taken away from her family. And they would only be able to visit her around certain holidays, certain occasions. And she would basically just live in the Kumari house, be taken care of by her handmaids, and that would be basically how her life was until she became older. I've heard in some reports that this is no longer the case, and that the parents can live in the house, so that is good. But her friends are also very selected. I've seen reports that they're allowing more friends to join in.
Okay.
So originally, it was kind of a situation of like you had to move away from your family. You didn't have friends unless they were like heavily selected by like the best caste system, like that kind of thing.
This is very Jedi flavored, the way you're talking about it like that.
It was that kind of idea, is that it would be like that.
Yeah.
You would be educated by tutors, and that was it. I think originally you weren't educated by tutors because they believed that your Kumari, you know everything you need to know. But that isn't very good, so they did start tutoring people. So that came a lot better. So, but again, there's a lot of situations where people say some things are true or some things are not true. I looked on a lot of different websites, and I did watch some documentaries on this. They say different things.
So conflicting sources. We don't know what's real.
We don't know. And I try not to look at this from like a westernized stand. Like, I'm not trying to look at it from this viewpoint, being like, oh, this is bad. I don't know exactly what's going on. A lot of it's kept pretty secret, it seems like. And I'm also not in the culture, so I don't get to see this normally. She will always be dressed in red and gold, her hair in a top knot, and then they do a special makeup look that's called like the fire eye. From now on, whenever she ventures outside of a palace, she will be carried or transported in her golden, this is basically kind of like little things she has to get carried in, or they hold her. We've seen a lot of photos, especially the new one. It's just her parents holding her as she walks around. Like,
but her feet can't touch the ground.
They can't touch the ground. They still can't touch the ground regardless.
Yeah. You have to be borne by these bearers.
Yeah, because now her feet become sacred. That's kind of a thing. Which is another thing a lot about like some of those cultures, especially Eastern cultures, like feet are become more of a thing to be worshipped a little bit more, but not in like a weird way we do. we
know what we're all thinking here, but we're not going to say it.
It's not like that. Because I think about like because my grandma is from Vietnam and stuff like that. And I think of going to like Catholic church and like the statue of Mary, she might touch her feet like as like a kind of like a worship thing, and also like you wash the feet of someone, that kind of thing.
Like, respect.
That was a very like Christian thing too. I mean, we lived in the desert and you had to wash the sand off each other's feet. That was the thing with
So when Jesus. I say that, I think of it more like that kind of idea.
I think it's more about like the person touching the feet. It's more about them lowering themselves to the authority's feet.
Yeah.
I think.
And it's also like the idea that if you touch your feet, is for that your troubles and illnesses will go away. So it's sacred. It is sacred.
They're sacred feet.
Yeah. Crowds of people will wait by the Kumari's window or out in the courtyard, hoping that she'll even pass by the windows and glance down at them. Sometimes they're like, she'll make irregular appearances that last for a second. And it's kind of like the idea that if she walks by you and she doesn't like make a certain like expression or anything, she might be blessing you a little bit. Because a lot of people talk about the expressions of a Kumari quite a bit. That's a big thing when it comes to the Kumari. She's not supposed to make any facial expressions.
Yeah. It has to be completely serene. Like can't smile or frown or
it comes up a little bit later in the story. But more fortunate people. So that's basically, this is what you do if you're just like a normal person. Yeah. Now, if you have like money or you're like more up in the classes, better connected, you could actually visit the Kumari where she sits in her throne and you're able to like talk to her about your problems, and she's able to kind of help. But Kumari is believed to have special powers over such illnesses. She's also visited by bureaucrats and other government officials. Like I mentioned, she was the one who would give information to the king or help him out that way. Petitioners typically bring her gifts and food offerings, and she'll receive them in silence. So again, no emotion when it comes to this.
Can't show anything at all.
And upon arrival, she offers them her feet to touch or kiss as an act of devotion. So this is her own.
Oh, gorgeous.
Oh, that's where she lives. All right.
Yeah.
I was expecting a temple.
Yeah, very nice house. It's near the temple.
Okay.
I mean, the temple is like really close by.
And you do have the one golden window like right at the top in the center.
That's where you're hoping to see her.
Yeah.
And then she has a courtyard and stuff, and you hopefully see her. The patrons of Kumari. So these are the people who take care of the Kumari. They must attend to the Kumari's every needs and desires while giving her instruction on her duties as a Kumari, because it's a lot of things to do in her ceremonies. While they cannot directly order her to do anything, they must guide her through her life. They are responsible for bathing her, dressing her, and attending to her makeup, as well as preparing her for her visitors and any ceremonies. Nowadays, like I said, the parents live with her. That's the new Kumari right there. It's a new little girl that just got selected. Supposedly, they're able to live there too and also help take care of her. But for a while, she would actually just go to these patrons, which I could not imagine at 2 or 5 being taken from my parents to go live with these people. But it is good to know that the parents are now involved, especially for that little 2-year-old. So Kumari takes part in some significant religious ceremonies and festivals. So it kind of talks about a few different festivals that she is part of. Mainly, there's like 2 big ones that she really does throughout the year. These occasions highlight her very important role in Nepal culture. It attracts devotees and tourists to witness her divine presence. The Kumari is considered a pure goddess, and walking underground is seen as a connection to the mortal world. So that's why she can't walk underground. She can only be carried, especially during these specific rituals.
Yeah.
And yes, the Kumari can speak, but during public appearances, she mostly stays silent. And people will talk about that a lot online, is that if they see any like slight facial expression of her, they immediately criticize her or say something's wrong, like she's doing something. Because it is a little child, but she is taught to be relatively...
Yeah, I was wondering about that because can you imagine just like a 4-year-old starting to say the stuff that a 4-year-old would say, and then all these people have to take it as the word of a goddess.
Yeah, I think that, and then just like, I just can't imagine getting someone to sit so quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, most 4-year-olds would never.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm extremely ticklish.
Yeah.
Especially with my feet. If
So
someone touch my foot, they're gonna get kicked in the face.
Yeah.
It's just what's gonna happen. That's why I'm not Kumari, but
Yeah, maybe that's part of the test. You have to not be ticklish. They have to like tickle you all over and see if you even react. That's what they're doing inside the Black Lodge or whatever. They take her and show her the horror show.
yeah, because I would get in so much. I probably wouldn't get in trouble because that's a goddess of me doing it, but I would kick people in the face all day long.
Maybe they just be like, "Oh, that's the wrath of the goddess."
Yeah. But I think about that a lot. I'm like, I would break some noses. Education. So one thing I see a lot is that the Kumari isn't allowed to go to school, and that was true at least at one point. They didn't go to school. They would believe that they were educated because they had a goddess in them. However, you do have to leave when you get your period. So how are you supposed to have a normal mortal life if you're not educated? So they have made it necessary for her to have an education. And so kind of working on that. She is now allowed to attend public schools and kind of have a life inside the classroom that is no different from other students, supposedly.
I wonder what the social dynamics are if you have one of those in your class.
Well, I think, like, again, in Avatar Last Airbender, I'm going an animation show, but in the show, Aang wasn't able to do anything. Like,
oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, because like no kids wanted to hang out with him or play games with him because it wasn't fair at that point because he had the Avatar inside him. So I do wonder if there is that dynamic when you see a Kumari in your classroom, like or are all these kids in her classroom like very high level, like kids in society, like rich kids and royal official, like that kind of government official kind of kids. So maybe they don't see it that way as much. Maybe. But I mean, I wouldn't want to like play gym class with the Kumari.
Yeah.
Like, what if I threw a dodgeball at her and she started bleeding?
Yeah. You just
True.
damned the goddess.
She's probably not allowed to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if they really play dodgeball.
They probably
They
wouldn't.
probably have something like that, but
If she can't touch the ground with her feet, there's probably no gym class
Yeah.
at all. Or playing on the playground or whatever they would do.
so there's definitely some differences. She's not just like every other student, like they're trying to say. But it is better now. She is going to school, so that does help. So now she can, like, when she eventually leaves, she can actually go on to have a full future.
Yeah, it is really interesting that it's like actual public school and not just private tutors all the way through. Because that's kind of what I was thinking when you were talking about, oh, they're educated now.
Yeah.
But it's...
It kind of went to like more private tutors and then slowly went to... A lot of people are very worried about whether she can have a normal life or not after this.
Yeah, it's like homeschool kids. Like, I always wonder about homeschool kids, like, eventually just going to college. Like, are they even ready for that? If they've just been shut in all their lives, not even, like, acclimated to other people.
Yeah.
I guess that's why some homeschoolers these days do the, like, group homeschooling.
They do group homeschooling.
At least acclimate them to some other kids, you know?
Yeah.
Or they're going to be, like...
They do that. They do sports, hopefully, clubs. Yeah, some don't, but they're getting better at trying to. Like, I'll see at the library where I'll just see people, like, just approach other people, kids, and be like, is your kid in school?
Please.
And then,
play with my kid.
Yeah, basically what happens. And they're like, we become friends. But it happens a lot at the library. And we also have a lot of events that people come to for homeschooling and stuff. So hopefully they get socialized. But yeah, her limited playmates must learn to respect her. Since her every wish must be granted, they must learn to surrender to her whenever she may want. And basically, like, when you're playing games with her, you kind of have
gotta
to
win.
You
There
gotta
it
let
is.
her
Yeah.
win.
There it is. That's what I was thinking, you know?
Yeah. So even with education and having playmates, does this still affect this person once they leave?
Of course,
Because it's still
does.
very limited.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a question. Could this be better?
Yes. Well, okay. I'm gonna like
We'll
go
get
into
there.
anthropologist mind. Okay.
Well, I mean, like, better as in, like, oh, like, maybe, like, she, like, gets to do a bit more of classmates. Maybe not so limited playmates or
Yeah.
that kind. There's more things that they can allow, which they're starting to. But her feet can't touch the ground still.
Yeah.
She'll never know the fun of recess.
No, there's really no
True-
way to
the
enjoy
true
recess.
recess.
You know, playing anything.
You can go have a swing.
I guess so, yeah. You could
They
swing.
can push you.
Someone else would just be pushing you constantly.
Yeah.
You have to obey the wishes. Push me harder.
They could. I mean,
This is discussion.
as an outsider.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
outsiders.
And all we
And
are
we
is
don't mean
outsiders.
disrespect to
No,
the
You
nature.
know.
we're just trying to understand little by little, you know?
Yeah.
I understand sacred feet. Maybe just bare feet can't touch the ground.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she needs exercise, and it's impractical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder if they, like, maybe she does, like, special stretches. Like, I wonder,
Maybe.
is there, like, ways to keep your body, like, still strong when you start walking again? Like, out in public?
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
young when you're learning to walk still.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you develop all your muscle memory and all of that important stuff. And I do wonder, like, do the legs just sort of atrophy if you're just sitting on a cushion all the time, not even using them? So there's got to be some way they prevent that if you're expected to eventually just get back to the world of the living.
Yeah, I wonder if there's certain exercises that she gets to do. A lot of this stuff is hidden from us. We're not part.
Yeah, so we don't
Yeah,
know.
we
There's
don't
probably
know.
something secret they do in there that acclimates.
Especially
you.
as they got more more science and health
Yeah.
knowledge has come out. She probably has something to go on.
Yeah, to the point of you can't just let this child rot and sit
Yeah.
and do nothing like Wally.
So here comes the showing of emotions.
Here it is.
Oh no!
Okay, the actions of the Kumari during meetings and ceremonies are watched. Many believe that the goddess will speak through the Kumari's expressions. The goddess is believed to communicate, like I mentioned, through expression. So tears, it means death's coming.
Death is coming. All right. Uh-huh.
Okay. Laughter, a national crisis.
Okay.
Trembling means war or unrest.
Uh-huh.
Picking offerings, so like if you're kind of like, if you're very picky about the offerings or something like that, kind of famine or loss. Stillness is blessing and peace.
So really it's only being perfectly still that means like
Yes.
everything is okay.
That's kind of a big thing, is you have to be still during it. If she doesn't speak to you, doesn't show any expression, that's when you know it's perfectly fine. So the big thing is that with the Kumari is you don't want to show a lot of expression, and that means that you'll leave happy and your blessing is going to happen and everything's going to be granted. That's basically the idea behind it. Now, some people debate this, whether this is a real thing, but there is like a story behind this too. At some point, it was the Royal Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So there is a story, late May 2001. One of the Kumaris was crying for 4 days. People interpret it as a bad omen.
Oh, no.
And when she stopped crying, the Nepal Royal Massacre occurred.
Jesus.
So that's
Bad
why
timing.
it's
Yeah.
even more of a reason. They
Yeah.
believe that she was crying because
She saw
they
it?
knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the story behind this. And that's even more of a reason why they watch their facial expressions, because they're so worried that if it happens,
It's a bad sign.
something bad's going to happen too.
So I guess just that this happened, any time going forward, they're going to be extra wary of it.
Yeah. That person, she is very outspoken about her experience about Kumari. She looks back at it pretty fondly. I don't know if she could talk badly about it. I don't know what people would do if she did talk badly about it, but one won't be here from her personal account. She did love being Kumari.
Okay, so had a good time of it.
She didn't feel like she was behind or isolated. She excelled academically, and her education helped her with her career. She has a full career right now.
Mm.
The only thing that she feels like she missed out on was just doing extracurricular activities. But once she was done in her teenage years, she was able to just go do the activities.
Mm.
So even if she wasn't able to do it as a kid, she just signed up when she turned 13 or whenever she got her period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are fundamental years, but it wasn't like her whole life was gone.
No, at least.
She said she was nervous about walking around, and it took her a while to feel more confident about walking on the streets.
Mm.
She encourages families to prepare their daughters well for the changes, basically, and kind of inform them pretty early about their role as Kumari will eventually end, and kind of help them kind of transition when it's ready to.
Yeah.
Keeping them informed about the outside world is also vital. So you got to tell them everything. They need to know what's going on out there. You can't keep them isolated and hidden from the world. You got to kind of let them know. So when they transition out into the world,
Yeah.
they have an idea what's going on.
Otherwise, you'd just be a fish out of water.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what the hell anything was.
Parents should prioritize a gradual transition instead of just throwing them out out there. And kind of like offering them some emotional support to make the process more comfortable. So I think that is a big thing, is that you got to prepare
Yeah.
for it. Because I could not imagine one day just not being Kumari anymore.
Yeah.
But not everyone gets their period.
It's true.
Wow.
So there is still the longest living Kumari. She still exists. So this Kumari, like I mentioned, you're supposed to stay Kumari until you get your first period, but she never got hers. She was chosen in 1954 as Kumari. And since her period never came, she reigned as a Kumari for 3 decades. Eventually, she was replaced against her will in 1984 by the Crown Prince. She did not like this, does not agree with it, so she decided to continue to live as Kumari. And her niece serves as her patron of Kumari. Her feet never touched the ground until April 2015. An earthquake came and forced her out of her house.
So she had to like run for her life.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good enough excuse to touch the ground.
Yeah.
If it's life or death.
So she had to walk at that point. And as far as we know, she is 75 and still living a secluded life as a Kumari.
Really?
There's not much
Wow.
more research coming out about her.
Good
Any
for her.
updates? Mainly just when she started walking and the earthquake happened. That was like a...
Oh,
but
yeah.
other than that, she's still being Kumari. She's still...
I would think the
living her
goddess
life.
could make the distinction of like, yeah, all right, I'm not going to flee your mortal body because you had to survive an earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that means you're still good.
I wonder if it is in fear of no longer being the Kumari and having to be mortal again.
Yeah.
Or if she's just like very pious and devout, like, I didn't get my period, so I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
the avatar of this goddess.
Yeah, if that's the only rule, like you
Yeah.
have to go until you get your period. If you never get it, you're still the
Yeah.
Kumari. So
Yeah.
it's legit.
That's the rules.
It's not like there's an actual age limit. They only judge by when
and
the
it
period
wasn't
comes.
like It was the crown prince that kicked her out. It wasn't like a priest or anyone in the group. Like that, they didn't do anything to tell her she couldn't be a Kumari anymore. There's no ritual or anything.
Yeah.
She just
wasn't his choice to make.
Declared to be replaced by another young girl. So I love that she did it 30 years.
Good for her.
3 decades is quite a lot.
That is a long time to go.
And then she got replaced, and then she just continued doing it. Like, wow.
It's just decided, you know what? No.
When it's like a child, I'm like, and then when it's this older woman, I'm like, good for her.
Yeah, you know, at that point, it's not like
it's her choice now.
It is
as well.
It couldn't be exploitation anymore. She's choosing this life for herself.
Also, I mean, she's still supported by her family. Like her niece takes care of her as her patron. So she has the support of her family. She's not like she's doing this and no one else is supporting her.
Yeah.
Not just some crazy hermit that's like, oh, she thinks she's Kumari. Haha.
So this is a different Kumari. On July 3rd in 2008, she was removed from her position as Kumari because she went to the United States to attend the release of her movie, The Living Goddess, which kind of was a documentary, big Kumari documentary. It was being played at a festival downtown Maryland. And because she went to go visit America, that tainted her purity.
Oh, they don't like that.
A couple weeks later, a lot of people were not happy about this. A couple weeks later, the temple authorities decided, you know what? We're recanting that statement and said that she would not be stripped of her title because she was willing to undergo a cleansing ceremony to remove any sins she might have committed while traveling.
So you can go to America, but you can get like the cleansing.
Yeah.
It's like the Mandalorian, removing your helmet, and then you have to go bathe in the waters. So like you could theoretically do it. You just have to like be ready to be cleansed.
Yeah. But it's also like they can't travel. So that's also a part of it. I guess you can't travel to certain places because they might influence you. I'm guessing that's the thought process behind it.
Yeah.
You don't want the U.S. westernized world influencing you. But I guess also it could be dangerous, I would imagine, to be a goddess and be going to somewhere but doesn't believe in you.
Yeah, you'd have no power there.
I just think people might have like ill intent when it comes to that. So I do want, especially because like very Christian country, it might be like kind of negative towards this.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see a lot of people being really judgy, really like holding out their crosses.
Like I imagine like, what's it called? The Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, exactly.
I guarantee they would have been at this.
Yeah.
Calling her a sinner.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I imagine that she would have had to face, and that way not be a good thing for a child or even goddess to be facing.
I mean, those like hard case Christians would see this and probably just think of it as idol worship.
Yes.
You know, that'd be like the straight out from the Ten Commandments.
So I can understand why they wouldn't want her to attend USA. But I also wonder, I do want to know more of a story behind this. Like, why was she able to go in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, did they steal her out of there? Like, what did
she sneak
allow?
out?
Like,
I want to know this story. How did she get to go? What was
I didn't see much about it on how she was able to do it. I just saw that she got her position removed because she went to it.
Yeah.
But was she told she could go and then they removed it? Like, what's the full story here? Husbands.
What?
Husbands, okay.
Okay, there is a belief that the Kumari, when she becomes a mortal girl, that she shouldn't get married. There's a myth that the husband will die.
Oh, man.
So it does kind of limit some of your options because some people do believe in that. But there are people who do get married. Many Kumaris do get married and their husbands do not die. But that is a little folklore, a little ghost story people say. But like, you're going to die if you marry them.
It must have happened to a couple of them, just like bad circumstances, you know, and then it just turned into, well, clearly that's a pattern.
Yep. So that's just one little thing I wanted to point out with the husbands is that people do get married, but husband could die.
Yeah.
Don't suck. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's a general rule of thumb, you know? You
Don't
never
suck.
know. The universe punishes those who suck.
So this is our new little Kumari.
Newest
She's
one.
2 years old. So she followed the strict traditional criteria, and she's going to live in the temple until she reaches puberty. And supposedly her parents are going to be there. There is very beautiful moments of her parents carrying her once she was selected. And she was all done up in her makeup, and her dad's crying.
See, man, you look at this picture, she just looks like any toddler you would know. You know, got the hair and the little fountain thing, the adorable little toddler look. And this is someone who's just been selected as the living goddess. So it's so weird to think about that as the big picture there.
Yeah. She is so cute. Cutie. Yeah, I think that's actually the end of it.
Really? Okay.
Because it comes up to that, because
Uh-huh.
that's the big thing that brought my attention to it, was her being selected, and I was like, oh, let's go into this.
That's
But
the
there's
latest
still a
one.
lot of like secret stuff around this that we don't know, that we're not part of. So
Yeah, so this is the new like grand Kumari, the royal Kumari.
yes.
So like the top of the top, most important, most recognized one. And she has just become this thing.
Yep, until she reaches puberty.
Yes. I feel like there's a lot of psychological harm in like being treated as a goddess and then very suddenly you're just like everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to like think what that reminds me of. There's something that reminds me of, but I can't put my finger on it. Where like suddenly you lose everything. Suddenly like you have to just be a human being.
I do wish and hope that more Kumaris, once they get out of it, will come out and speak about their experiences, whether good or bad. Just hearing more and more people's experiences, even if they absolutely loved it. I don't expect everyone would love it, though. I feel like some people have to have some bad experiences or some insight, and they can take some of that and do some changes to it. But I want to hear more people talk about it.
I know, and
also without any like bias coming in there. Like I don't want.
Yeah, I want to hear their experience.
Their experience, not like anything holding on to them. Not the westernized world putting pressure on her or her culture putting pressure on her. I just want to hear her experience.
Exactly.
And that would be nice.
If you could just get an unfiltered conversation, like what was it really like? What did you think of it? What was your experience?
What was your experience like going days afterwards? Because she said she was scared to walk around at first. I do wonder, how long did that last?
Sure, yeah.
That's like on a really busy street. Like, how long did that last?
Yeah.
You felt comfortable to walk around.
I mean, if people believed that, like, if you cried, it could cause a national crisis and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how long would that, weight take to come off your shoulders? Like, you know you're a human now. You're not the avatar of the goddess anymore, but you'd probably still be subconsciously thinking, like, I can't show any emotion, or they'll all like, be terrified of what's going to happen on account of me. So I just wonder about that, you know?
Yeah.
How long does it take to sort of unlearn that?
Yeah, that's really tough. Especially like a young child. I can't imagine a toddler not being able to cry.
Yeah, that's
normally
crazy.
I also just want to know, like, what goes behind the doors. Like, is she crying normally? Like, is she playing? Like, what is she like during that time that we can't see?
Yeah.
And then we see her as her all done up in her makeup and goddess time. Like, what is going on behind the doors?
Yeah, because then you have those public appearances where people can see, but the rest of the time you have no idea. That, and I'm so interested in these tests, like what those are actually like, what the reality of them is to be chosen, and what's been exaggerated.
Yeah.
I just want to know, after hearing those crazy stories of what they subject these people to supposedly, but we don't know if it's true or not. I'm so curious.
A lot of websites that I went to said it was true in some capacity. But then you have the other Kumari say that, oh, it's not really there, but can we 1% trust her? Like, I want more Kumaris to come out and say, like, their experiences through it.
Yeah.
And even if it's, like, actually not bad at all, like, I want to hear more people say it. So I'm like, okay, it's not actually that bad.
More data points.
Yes, more data points. That's exactly it.
Exactly. We just need like another angle, as many as possible to form the true picture as close as we can get to it.
Yeah, because we come from like westernized point of view.
Yeah, so
it's also very Western for us to even want to know.
Yeah. Maybe over there they're just like, well, no, it's not ours to know in the first place. So you can let it go.
Yeah. So it's come from very different viewpoints when it comes to this. But I just love hearing other people's experiences in life. Like, I would love to just, what is it like to be a living goddess? Like, if she like truly is a living god, I want to know what that's like.
Yeah,
I'm not a living goddess in any way. I was never a living goddess.
Yes, you are, Kelsey.
I never was. So I want to know, like, what is that like? Do you feel it?
Yeah. Is it pressure? It has to be pressure, right? Or maybe it's not. We don't know.
Like, do you feel? It's like, do you
Yeah.
feel that power inside you when it happens? I wonder that.
I wish her the best.
I do.
That's all we can do.
And I think they're getting better and better.
Yeah, it sounds like
handling-
it. From that one testimonial.
Yeah. it seems like it's getting better. People are getting happier with the situation, but and I'm glad her parents get to stay with her. So
Yeah, they're not just whisking her away like the little Jedi that are going to
Yeah.
train in the temple, and they have no connections at all.
Yeah.
So it's not full Jedi. It's not like you are not allowed to even interact with anyone or form an attachment. It's a little more humane than that.
yeah.
But there's a lot of Jedi parallels that I picked up through this whole telling of
We
what
can
it's like.
always
You know?
find Star Wars.
Yeah, there's Star Wars and everything, Avatar and everything.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and me just being
So
recently.
where's the Mormonism and everything?
I know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking now.
It is. I don't know if there's any Mormonism, but if there were, it would not surprise me that you could find it.
I don't think Joseph Smith cared too much about Buddhism.
No, probably not. Probably thinking completely differently. Yeah, and of course, my latest obsession is Twin Peaks, so I'm always thinking about that now. And just the idea of the crazy, scary test you have to face with perfect courage reminds me so much of the finale of Twin Peaks, the original series, where basically how that went was you went to this other dimension. The main character is like an FBI agent, has to go face this test. And all it is just this horrifying room with curtains. And there are these things in there, just these sort of like weird people that are scary and like doppelganger versions of himself and people he knows. And there's strobing lights and they're screaming in his face. And the one thing he has to do is just be perfectly courageous.
Ooh.
That's like what is said to him. If you face this with imperfect courage, you fail. And that's what that reminded me of, like, exactly. So I'm wondering if, like, okay, David Lynch is into some weird, like, spiritual stuff like that. Maybe it was inspiration. I don't know.
I also do wonder if people like prepare their kids for this test. Like they know it's coming up. They know that the slot's going to open up. Like, are there ways to prepare your kids to handle
Maybe.
like, dark situations and
Yeah. If that's
turning
what it
lights
takes.
off, masks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Are people really trying? Obviously, there's so much you have to pass, so I don't think you can really alter it too much. Like really play like in there, but you can do a little bit.
But man,
Yeah.
what a thing to exist. I love learning about things like this that I would never know about otherwise. 'Cause I never knew about this. I never heard that this was a thing.
Yeah, it's a really interesting culture. I'm happy for her. She looks so cute.
Yeah.
That really is. She's adorable. I think the makeup that they wear and outfits are really cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
that is
very
what-
cool.
Very
You
sad.
look awesome.
Yeah.
As you go around and do your goddess things. Like,
Also sort of Queen Amidala looking. I
yes,
thought
it
about
is.
that a
Yeah,
lot,
it is.
too.
I also want to know about the people who like do her makeup.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Like, do you go to school for it? Is it
Yeah,
like,
how they choose that.
like, how do you get chosen for that?
Is it the patrons?
Yeah, I think it's the patrons who do it.
Yeah.
But like, you still got to have some skill in that.
Yeah, how are you trained?
Every photo of it, it looks good. It looks
Yeah.
perfect.
The fire eye makeup.
I love it. It's an iconic look.
Well, thank you, Kelsey, for
Yes.
teaching us about this today.
Yeah, so I guess you guys can give a little bit of opinions about this, but we are going respectful.
Yeah, we're 100% respectful here. There's no
Yes.
like making a mockery of it or just treating
Yes.
it like something crazy. It's somebody's belief, somebody's culture.
Yes, and we're coming at this from a very westernized viewpoint. That's to keep in mind is that if we're wrong about some things, you can tell us about it, but
Yeah.
we are coming into this knowing that we're coming from a westernized viewpoint.
We acknowledge the stumbling blocks in our way as we
Yes.
even try to wrap our minds around
We're
it.
not
So-
part of this culture. We're just learning about it from what I can find on the internet. And documentaries. I did watch a few to get this information. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed and stay tuned for more. We're hoping in the new year to do a lot more. So
Yes, have a great end of your
Yes.
year. And as we go into the new one, look forward to quite a lot of good stuff from us.
okay, bye.
Take care till then.